Good afternoon. It has been a very long morning for me. I woke up at 4, awoken by a part of mine that is really excited about living life. This part's been waking me up for much of my life. And this morning, I was really activated by it and pretty mad because this has been happening every morning really early for a week or so, if not longer. But I remembered a talk I had yesterday with Adam Kutz, who is a Buddhist Zen meditation teacher. And he reminded me that really the Zen way to be with this kind of experience where my body's just panicked or I'm overstimulated or angry is to just recognize that none of it is any more divine than the rest of it. Being in a Zen, totally chilled out state is no more divine, no better than the panicked freak out state. They're both just ready to be examined and explored, and that is Zen. And so I said, this panic is interesting. Moving on. And slid through it with little viscosity, as he would say. And I started doing a mantra, which was, I see the insomnia. It's okay. This too shall pass. And I said it probably 3 times, and then I was asleep. Woke up 5 hours later. When I woke up, I had that feeling again, that tightness, that anxiety slash vibrational excitement in my stomach. It's really good at getting my morning bowel movement going, so it's beneficial in some ways, but in many ways it's really just hyper stimulating. And so I got to know it this morning, and I've gotten to know it before, but I wanted to know more about it. And so I did the core transformation process while face down, actually, like on the bed face down. And that was new for me. So I just let it be in a different state. And I asked it, so what do you really want? And I felt it. I put my hand right on that spot. And I said, well, what do you really want? And the answer was safety and security. And with core transformation, I said, great. And I felt into safety and security. Like, what does that feel like? It's important to feel what these parts really want so they get that sensation. Like, that's what we're looking for. Yeah, well, yeah, what's that? I want that safety and security. Like, okay, we've got that. And then, what then do we have? It's like, we can then relax. Okay, so I felt that relaxation. And then what do we have? Trust. And that one surprised me. It's like, whoa, that has not come up before. What does trust feel like? And it was this solidity. It felt like a square, a solid square in my belly. It's like trust in myself. It feels solid. All right. And I stayed with that for a while because that was like a new thing to feel. I laid with that for probably 30 minutes, just feeling that. And then I said, well, now that we have this trust in ourselves, what do we have? Love for ourselves. That's the deeper cut. Okay. Not needing to change anything about it. We love ourselves. Okay. Felt that for a while. Felt that warmth, that glow. And then what do we have? And I started noticing that there was more acceptance throughout the body. And it felt like connection. There was connection between my parts. And this was like really something I've been wanting. Love between the parts, not competing for who's running the system, but sharing and caring between the parts. Love between this internal family. And that was so relaxing. I remember my body just releasing. And in that moment, I've been wearing earplugs. And with the earplugs in, I can really hear the vibration of my nervous system. I hear this low rumble. And it's tension in the body and the vibration of my nervous system tension. And I can hear it. It's very loud, almost as loud as my tinnitus. But they're both, very different frequencies. Tinnitus is way up high, and the vibration's really low, rumble of the tension. And in that moment, when I said, well, what does this connection between all these parts do? It was just, and all the vibration stopped. It was just this silence. And it felt like oneness. All the parts were one. There was harmony. And in that, there was silence, bliss. There was peace. And I stayed with that for a while, just like feeling like, oh, I can't believe the rumble's gone. Can't believe it's not here. This is so great. And in that state of oneness, I decided to walk back up the chain to do the rest of the core transformation process. I said, from this state of oneness, and this silence, this bliss, how does this impact having love between all of our parts? And everything was softened, very accepting of the parts. And how does this oneness impact having love for myself? And it felt like, oh, there's space for compassion and this motherly nature, seeing softness and sweetness between connections, seeing the innocence of parts. And how does oneness impact trust in myself? Well, trust is easy and strengthened when there is compassionate love. And how does oneness impact relaxation? And when I asked that question, my tinnitus, which has been there since I was 7, shifted. And it all went silent in both ears. And then one single frequency, very high, picked up in my left ear and then went down, faded to silence. I was just like, whoa, what was that? And then I asked, how does this oneness impact having safety and security? And I didn't get an answer at first, but then it said, we got you. Don't you worry. Safe, loved, we're one, whole. And I recognized that this was like a really great process we've just gone through. And I decided to do the next step of core transformation, which I'd also learned from Patrick Dominguez, which is growing this part up. So I went back down to that part in my belly and I asked it, well, how old are you? And it took a couple minutes, but then it said, I'm 3. I said, okay. Would you like to be an adult? Would you like to grow up with me? And he was scared. He was like, no. And so I went to him. I used a process Patrick taught me, and I dove in there and I hugged him. And I put my toes into his toes, my fingers into his fingers, and I breathed into his lungs. I looked out through his eyes, and I felt I had this little like onesie on. It was like this cute little fuzzy onesie. And then I was like, I'm here with you, man. I'm here with you, little boy. Like, would you like to come and bring all your power and your excitement for life up to the rest of the body and to be with the rest of us? grow you up. And he said, okay. And so we did. And basically the process is you start to just roll through life, roll through all the experiences, but you jump kind of out to the meta level of looking down at the planet and, seeing life, just this big timeline passing by. And I rolled through tons of memories, and I just, kind of like went through the feeling, yeah, this was like what childhood was like, and this is like what adolescence was like. And it took like 15 minutes or so, and I went through as much as just felt like it needed to come up until I was up here and with this new part. And we breathed into my body, into our body, and was like, okay, these are the lungs. These are my arms. This is yours now as well. This is my legs. You're not just in the belly anymore. We're everywhere. And this is the first time I've done that. It was really bizarre. And I just feel this like comfort and calm in that system, in that relation to this part. The part's not going away. Parts don't get dissolved, that they're integrated. So this part is integrated in me now. It's part of me. I have his energy and his excitement. And then I said, well, okay, now we can focus on using your excitement for good. And let me just show you that how good it is for us to let that go at night and to sleep, and how we can wake up feeling so good in the morning when we can let excitement go during the night. And so I'm now teaching him how important that is. And so that took 3 hours. That was 9 till noon. And here we are on a Sunday during COVID, midday. Hope this finds you well. I'm going to have a great day.